we were planning to have a pairing session later on, but not now.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I started implementing the helper that you suggested.
Uh-huh.
I'm calling it placeholder image.
Okay.
And it's in learninghelper.rb. I've just pushed this up to a branch on GitHub called Workshop Reborn.
Okay.
In fact, it rejected because I've been doing some work on that branch from elsewhere. So if I pull in those changes, and I get conflict in here. Yeah, I've got slightly different versions. That
Okay.
one, yeah, that one's an earlier one where I was specifying width and height in every request.
Uh-huh.
And in the second one, the height is optional, and it uses a shortened or equals operator to set the height.
Okay.
Okay, my GitHub's all up to date now. The test should pass. Of course, I need the database server running.
Have you changed the contents much? I mean, what goes into the editor?
No, it's still just the entire scaffold.
Okay.
So all I've changed are these image tags, replaced them with the placeholder, calls to the placeholder helper.
Right.
The other thing that I started work on was moving the CSS. That will have broken. Yeah, I forgot about that. So I took custom.css out of public HTML, the public folder, and put it into asset style sheets, and I haven't got those changes because I never committed those from the laptop. But basically that broke the workshop because none of the style sheets from custom CSS were applying anymore.
I see.
So those are applied in views, layouts, workshops. I've got a hard link here to custom CSS in the root folder. And we want to change that for something like line 7. Want a workshop CSS. I don't know what the turbo links is. I'm sure you explained it to me once and I've forgotten.
I think it just decides whether or not it should be cached.
Right. So data turbo link track should be true for the style sheet tag.
Leaving it true all the time will probably be correct.
Okay. Let's comment the old tag out. And I think I put it in a subfolder, the workshop passion. So if I take custom CSS from public and move it to app assets style sheets, and create a new folder called workshop and rename it passion.css. That should work. There's no test for the CSS being there, so we just have to launch Rails and have a look.
Have you thought much about how you want to progress the workshop one contents? Since we have this new editor,
Yeah.
it's really built for smaller things, not a full page. That's my only issue.
Oh well. What's going on here?
That's interesting.
Looks
Did
like
you include the style sheet into the main application?
no. I forgot to exclude it.
Ah, okay.
So that would be in application.scss. No. I looked this up before. Last time I worked on it. Hmm. Stub. Stub sprockets directive. Can I use that? Couldn't find the file workshop. It's not a file, it's a folder. How do I stub an entire folder of style sheets?
I can't remember. There might be a stub directory.
Mm-hmm.
I know I can use stub. We can use the directive stub to ignore certain files. Not sure about entire directories. Hmm.
Did you get out and vote for the EU elections last week?
No, I didn't.
No.
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah, I went down to the town hall. It's just around the corner here.
Okay.
My
That's cool.
my wife wanted to vote for the Greens. JavaScript, Rails, Sprockets. Um, Broke rack-based asset packaging. Yeah. Okay, we got that. Direct to processor. Acquire. Require depend on stub. Stub pass allows dependency to be excluded from the assets bundle.
Maybe you can stop directories. Try that.
Wrong number of arguments.
Oh, by the way, I probably, yeah. I have a friend who's actually interested in helping out with Codealia.
Yeah?
Yeah. Although she doesn't do much coding, I think she can write very well. So in case you have any like parts of the site you want to improve in terms of the wording,
Absolutely.
she should be a good person.
We've got too many developers on Codealia. We need more writers and more teachers.
Cool. Yeah, I'll try and bring her around to one of the meetings. Although it's tough because both of us work the same hours, so yeah, she's a coworker of mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we have the same hours, so.
Okay, the pass that you stub must be a valid asset and may not already be part of the bundle. Stub should only be used at the top level bundle, not with any sub-dependencies. Whatever that means. I guess I can stub workshop passion. That's more specific.
Yep.
And that works.
Cool.
And when I load up Codealia, the workshop 1, the CSS is applied. Although it's very huge. Have I got magnification turned on here or something? Yes, I have. Not supposed to be that huge. So, yeah, I wanted to split this up into having an editor for the header, one for each section, left column, right column, and then an editor for the footer. So, have you got multiple editors implemented anyway?
Not yet. We're sort of still working on that. It's a little slow right now. Because I just realized, well, not just realized, but I'm sort of prioritizing something else, just cleaning up the backend right now. I'm trying to get it done quickly, although me and John sort of went into a little snag. So that's slowing us down for a few days. But hopefully we might be able to implement that in the future. Can you make do with one for the moment?
Yeah.
I think, you know, when they first are introduced to the editor, could we just have it, focused on just one part of the page instead of, because we
The
haven't
whole,
gotten
yeah.
used to the whole editor interface just yet. So um, I would argue, maybe just to defend my lack of multiple editor regions, but
Yeah.
I think it's good to have just one editable region for the first part, at least for part one.
So I similar to the way Thomas's workshop 2 was set up. I could have a workshop 1 part 1 where
Yep,
you follow some instructions to alter the header, and then a workshop 1
absolutely.
part 2 where you follow instructions to alter one of the columns.
Yeah.
Git add dot wanting you ran git add with neither a or all. The behavior will change in Git 2.0. Oh, okay. So I need to add the deletion. Okay.
Oh.
It's just Jody arriving home. Git into the asset pipeline. Of course, each time I push code up to workshop reborn, it's going to trigger another Travis build.
Oh, okay.
We just because it's in the pull request.
I see.
We just don't notice because we don't have that integration in the Codealia channel anymore.
I don't think it will warn us of new pushes anyway. That'll be too much. Ooh. All right. Yeah, I guess I can. When the build is green, I'll review this and then I'll see if I can merge it.
Cool. Yeah. Was there anything else that you mentioned in our chat?
Not that I can remember.
Workshops folder. I've done that. and create a place kitten helper. Yeah. Shipping it.
Cool. Yep. I'll just wait for a green build, then review this.
So,
Let's see.
Go over to the tracker.
Yeah. Haven't spent much time with Codealia, but I know there's also a lot of stuff to be done.
Right, well, we can clean out there was one chore here somewhere for a...
Have you managed to arrange a client meeting?
No, I didn't get a response from Mohammed in the time for the Friday client meeting, so that didn't happen.
How about this week?
This week I'll try and, because Mohammed and Drew's fact that they've both got plenty of time on their hands, so it shouldn't be a problem. We had somewhere here a hatch. Include hatch after school badge, which is outdated because hatch after school doesn't exist anymore. We might want to include a badge for whatever it is that Mohammed and Drew are going to throw together.
Okay.
But we don't know what it's going to be named yet. So I'll just... Oh, what can I do with this feature? I'll just trash it, I suppose. Something that needs to be kept. Make sure once to delete the story, include the hatch or the school badge. Okay. Set up base camp with hatch.
Lots of these are kind of outdated, I think.
Yeah, we got Slack now. We don't need base camp.
Yeah.
So I'll trash that as well. CSS files and classes for student web page. We still need some more colors and things. Right now we've got a few background colors, but only 2 foreground colors for text. So that can stay open. Create content for 90-minute workshop. I want to add a part 1 and part 2. Split into 2 parts to use code in IDE. Lines of code. We have now merged the workshop CSS. it's just a chore, so it's been closed. What did you mean by switch to using more Angular tools?
Oh yes, because we're using Jasmine, jQuery, and all the like of that, which is more jQuery-ish. Angular has better documentation for different mocking frameworks, like Angular mocks
Right.
and the Karma test runner instead of Rake Jasmine. So I think it'll be better because there's plenty more documentation around, and it's probably better geared for Angular to switch to those. So
Yeah.
that's what me and John is currently working on.
Okay.
Problem with this is Karma, the test runner, it doesn't play very well with Rails. I sort of had to hack it in, which I think maybe it's a good thing to separate the Rails and the Angular portion. Yeah. I haven't set up Protractor yet, but I think Karma will do. Because Protractor, I think, was mainly for... It's kind of like a... Perhaps we don't need Protractor. I don't know. Because it's more for integration tests, which we have Cucumber for already.
Yeah.
Karma is better for unit tests.
So
Well, so I've heard.
We'll still be running the jQuery and the integration tests.
Yes, he will.
Sorry, some JavaScript.
Yeah. It was just that Karma didn't understand the idea of Rails asset pipeline, so and the sprockets directives. So I had to write a little script to hack that behavior in, which I think I'll discuss a bit more with John before we turn that into a real pull request. It might be too hacky, or it might be just what we need. Yep, so that's our current task. Switch to what else? How's Agile's Ventures in general, do you think? I think it's been a bit quiet lately.
It's been a bit quiet lately. Sam's attention has been on doing more work with Makers Academy.
I see.
He wants to try and integrate doing the scrums into his day at Makers. He couldn't do it before because as he was doing pairing at Makers, people were just coming up and saying, "Can we do a pairing session now?" And he would get into that and lose track of time, sort of thing. But now he's asking the Makers students to make appointments for pairing.
Okay.
He's hoping to be able to set aside a slot for doing the scrums from there.
Okay, cool.
But it has been quiet. Thomas isn't around. Viv and Joseph are both busy with the 169 course, either doing the course or being a TA on that. So they haven't had time to do much pairing.
Yep. It has been awfully quiet.
Yeah. So, update workshop 1 contents to use the new Codealia IDE is done.
Okay.
I'm going to mark that as finished.
I'm going to do a review on that.
Okay. Well, I'll wait until you've done the review.
Yep.
And mission statement. Yeah, perhaps your friend can help me with that. If that's more of a sort of creative writing thing to distill the the homepage text down into a short mission statement.
Yep, that would be good. I already really miss Thomas. I need his help out here.
Yeah.
This is too much. Oh, notice something. I'll write the comment in the pull request so it's easier for you to see it.
Okay.
But I think you missed the comma there. Or, well, that could work. Yeah, that could actually work well.
And the CSS, right?
Yeah, I mean that works. I don't. Well, is that intentional? Because I usually see it when people do it this way. It's comma rather than
Yeah, when you put two
space.
tag names.
Yep. I mean, doing it this way also works because it just happens that body will be a direct child. I mean, a child of HTML anyway.
It will always be a child of HTML.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's that way. I think I might have inherited that from subtle patterns.
Subtle patterns.
These are the background patterns that Thomas added, and I've pulled into the workshop.
Ah, okay. If it's mostly Thomas's work, I don't know. Maybe. Well, this does work.
Yeah.
It won't break things. Not sure if it was intentional, but I think the only thing about this is the font won't be applied to the head, like the header and title. Do you think it should be?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, then ignore that comment.
No, I don't think that font should be applied to anything outside the body.
Alright. In that case, it's fine.
Cool.
This is workshop. Yep, workshop. This is... Have you actually played around with putting this in the little scaffold?
This
I mean this set of CSS.
I've tried changing around some of the background colors in the columns.
Okay. I guess that's good enough. We don't really want, at least not in the passion, or maybe not for the first part of the workshop. Yeah, just perhaps in the next iteration, try and reduce what you put in the CDL preview, because it isn't optimized for
a lot of lines of code, exactly.
Yeah, that's why I had it as a small little window on the bottom right.
Yeah.
I think we should try and keep whatever we expose the students to, we'll try and keep it maybe as a rule of thumb less than 10 lines. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it displays 8 lines without scrolling.
Yeah, okay.
10 to 16 lines
Yeah.
Should be manageable.
Okay, but just really small. Doesn't get in the way. As part of the passions workshop.
Right.
Yep. And I think I won't go into too much detail right now, but let's try and practice good coding, indentation and everything, so that the students will pick that up from the CSS as well. I'm just looking at lines
Yeah.
71 to 79. It's all done inline, but we should try and do it in proper block manner, and the indentation's a bit
It is a bit
not,
off.
yeah, not
The
ideal.
BG5 and BG1 have got two tabs
Yep.
for the indentation, and the
Are
rest
you
have.
are you using spaces or tabs for the indentation?
I'm using spaces, but Sublime translates that to. No, it's the other way around. I'm using tabs, and Sublime outputs spaces, I think.
Okay.
Let me see. Uh, tab size 2. Translate tabs to spaces, yeah. So when I've got a CSS directive that only touches one attribute, I normally put it in line.
Okay.
But that's not consistent in this file because Thomas has some that are always in block format, no matter how many attributes they touch.
Uh-huh.
And when there's a comment, because this could potentially be exposed to students, I've commented some of the CSS directives quite a lot of detail.
Okay. Yeah,
So
that's good.
those are in block format.
Have you worked with anybody else on this pull request? I mean, have they
Yeah,
pulled down your code as well? Marcelo, yeah.
it's been a long-lived pull request, so I can't remember everyone I paired with, but I definitely paired with Marcelo at one stage.
Okay.
Um,
Right. Okay. Anyway, at the moment I don't see any problems with merging this in now. Did you want to make any more last pushes?
yeah, I'll just change the indentation in this.
Okay. While you're at it, I think the invitation for learning helper spec is a bit off as well. And there's another file, learning helper. I think it's
Yeah.
using tabs or something, because on GitHub this it definitely looks a lot bigger. It's using tabs instead of spaces.
I think there's just an extra space on each it block. Oh, this
Okay.
one hasn't got enough spaces. Excuse me a sec. The
Sure.
telephone's ringing. Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
I was just back. So in Learning Helper, yeah, that's using tabs instead of spaces because my Sublime on the laptop is set up slightly differently.
Uh-huh.
Re-indent. No, that doesn't actually do anything.
Okay. Once you can you squash that commit as well?
Yeah. How do I do that?
Git. Hold on. Git. Jeez. What was the command again?
There's my previous commits.
Git. Oh, hold on. Let me try it. No, it's not add. It's oh. Hold on. Can't remember now. Squash commits git. Ah, yes, git. Yes, git rebase dash I head tilde 2 or number. Git rebase dash I
Yeah.
dash I and then head capital in all caps head tilde and then I think and the number of commits you want to squash from just put 2. Just to show you how it's done because right now there's a lot of commits coming from you but there's not a lot of code changes.
Yeah.
So many of these commits are more like temporary commits. Those should really be squashed. Yeah. But yeah, let me just show you how it's done so you can do that. It's probably harder to do it when you have so many commits already.
Right.
And yeah, you shouldn't squash other people's commit.
No.
Just the thing about squashing is that you should not squash stuff that other people have already downloaded because then they'll have a lot of trouble.
It'll change the history on there.
Yeah, it messes up the history.
So just stuff that's not being pushed.
Yep, something like that.
So this is creating
I'll show you how to do it. Yeah,
a message like a cherry pick.
something like that.
Where
You
it's,
can. Yeah. So it just shows you the 2 commits that are being looked at. What you can do is squash. So on the second one, get rid of pick and replace it with squash.
Okay.
So that means it's gonna squash that commit. The second line. Yep.
Insert.
Squad. Yep, that'll do. I think you can set the default editor in Git something else if you're not used to this.
I actually use Vim more than I use Emacs. But,
Oh, really?
yeah, I don't use either of them a lot.
Okay. What it does is now that it squashed that commit, you should it's asking you to pick one of the two commit messages to use.
I see, yeah.
Yeah. So just delete whatever message you don't want, or change, or just replace it altogether.
Mm-hmm. Copy.
Yeah. Well, you don't need to care about the comments. Yeah, okay, that'll be good. Another thing which I do quite a lot is if you're, instead of committing, making a new commit, I usually use -- amend, so that updates the previous commit with the new stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that way I don't add unnecessary commits, and just to keep the history clean.
Mm-hmm. So successfully rebased and updated
Yep,
workshop reborn.
cool. Now you have to git push -f because you've messed up the history a bit.
It'll be going backwards, won't it?
Yeah. You have to use -f.
-- force.
Yeah. Yep, that'll do. Although it's
Right.
preferable not to do -- force, but in this case you have to. But in the future, just try to use git commit amend before you push stuff. But in case you did push stuff that you had to amend, you can use -force. Okay.
Probably, in case anybody has done a fetch, it's probably best to leave
Yeah,
a bit
it
of
is
history
probably.
and mess up there.
Exactly. Yep. But if you're doing a lot of stuff locally, it's better if you do amending, because I can see you've done a lot of commits.
And some
Not
of
sure
them
if you.
change. Yeah, some of them reverse the changes in the previous one.
Okay, yeah. So we only really care about the end result. So.
Yeah.
Okay. The indentation looks a lot nicer.
Cool.
Yep. I'm happy with this. Once it's green, I'll merge it in.
Okay.
Cool. By the way, do you mind giving me some feedback on the redesign of the users page? I posted a link in the Hangout. It's my
Yeah.
staging.
So you've got rid of the tabs.
Yeah, I've got rid of the tabs, and I've also updated the index page.
That's cool.
Not sure if this
Oh
new.
yeah, I see.
Not sure if that new style is appealing to other people.
I like it.
Cool.
It still displays the same amount of information, username and location.
Yep. There's also a hidden attribute now for titles, which isn't which isn't displayed at the moment.
It's not being used yet.
Nope. Yep, so pretty much like this.
Oh, authentication failed with GitHub.
Try again. Sometimes it fails the first time. It's really a bug.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Need to figure out how to fix this thing. That's just not good.
So the edit button works same, comes up with a little
Yeah, I
outline.
haven't finished editing the edit button.
Right.
I mean the edit page. I think it needs some work.
I don't see the info on my own.
Yeah, you probably don't have any information.
Oh, because this is on
On
your.
Yeah, this is my own staging server, so it has nothing. Uh,
So it'll put a header for each of what were previously tabs.
yep.
Yeah, that's better. I don't know why we had tabs in the first place now.
I have no idea. I think Thomas
Probably
liked it.
Thomas thought it was neat.
Yep.
Okay, this section for projects, and then list items for each project. H4 for the section heading. Yep, looks nice. Just give me a second. Okay, I'm back. Where's the pull request?
Still getting. Uh, Still going through Travis.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Sammy
you mean
for
for no, I haven't made it yet. I wanted to work on the edit page as well.
okay.
Yeah, I just wanted some feedback before I make a pull request.
I have noticed this before on GitHub. There's a little plus after the project name.
Oh, I
Focus
didn't notice
project
that
and
either.
creates a new file. So that probably opens in an ACE editor. You can do that on any branch.
That's weird. That is weird. Have you noticed that some users, when you go to their page, there is something like member for about this many months. For some reason, my own page was member for. No, a couple of them have member for this month instead of for about this many months. That is strange.
Yeah, it's something to do with the time ago in words helper.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if it's not close enough to be able to round it up or down to 3 months, it'll say it about 3 months, depending on the
I
exact number
see.
of amount of time.
Didn't realize it was doing that. Huh. I will need to figure out what to do with it.
That's failing some tests.
Yours?
No, I mean the when it shows the text about 3 months. Is there
Oh,
a test that depends on that?
really?
Another mic.
That's annoying. Member for. To find a stubbed guy which has about. Oh, that's annoying.
I think I remember when we put this page together, we were testing in RSpec probably for the output of that helper.
Okay. That's annoying. Ice cream truck?
Yeah, that's Cooper Ratchet. I used to tell the kids when they're playing that song, that means they're out of ice cream.
That's
And,
cool.
oh, they figured it out now. Too long to put the wool over their eyes.
Mm,
Skills and technologies. You can put that into the skills input. Because at the moment it only says skills when you're inputting the account details. But on the profile page it says the heading is skills and technologies.
Hello.
Hey John.
Hey, John.
How's it going?
It's all right. I just merged Pete's pull request for updating the workshop 1 contents. So we were mostly working with CSS. No actual IDE work going on. Are you planning to work on it later? IDE?
What I want to work on is the stuff that you sent me.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yes.
I sent
Refactoring.
it's still open. I was just gonna drop it and see what you guys have done.
Yeah. I wrote that that karma configuration in my own little pet project, but we can move it over to the Codealia if you're happy with it.
Sure.
Yeah. I wonder if it'll work though. Codealia is a slightly bigger project.
Oh, you wrote
It all
it for your
depends.
Ember project.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll probably work better with Codealia, I think. But the problems I've had was trying to figure out where the gems store their JavaScript files. So I think I narrowed it down to 3 places, right in the root directory, in the lib assets JavaScript, or in vendor assets JavaScript. So I've taken all that into consideration. But if another gem decides to put it somewhere else and has
So
some other funny
basically,
way of,
you've hard coded it to look in those 2 places.
yeah, pretty
Okay.
much.
Well, if that works for Karma, then that's good enough. But what you're saying is that package.json is, I haven't looked at it, but I remember we were tinkering with that to get dependencies in there.
Oh yeah, I haven't updated the package.json in my pet project, so don't look at that.
Okay.
But we should have a couple of more dependencies. Particularly, I'm using Sprocket's chain and execute sync node modules to get that little script running.
Right. And you're saying that the node modules appear in one of those 2 directories typically? Or no, they don't?
Sorry?
Is what you've configured at all picking up node modules too, or is it only picking up stuff from the gem file?
Oh no, it's only picking up stuff from the gem file. The only reason I have to look in the gem file was, for example, in your application.js, you're including turbo links, which is actually the JavaScript for that is bundled in the gem, right? And by default, I only know where lib assets, I mean the project's lib assets JavaScript and vendor asset JavaScripts are. So when I'm trying to resolve the dependencies through sprockets, it doesn't find those JavaScripts and starts complaining. Yeah, so that's why I have to manually look through the gem file, find out where all those gems are located, and look for the JavaScripts in there.
Yeah, I mean, I know that maybe it's already automatically included, but I know that a lot of code by default, at least in Rails 3, showed up just in assets JavaScripts, like as a result of the asset pipeline.
Yeah.
Even from gems.
Yeah, the thing is, Karma is not part of Rails, so it's not gonna know what Rails think of as assets.
Right.
So I had to manually add that into Karma's configuration file. So that's why. That's because I wanted to try and do it in a pure Karma JavaScript way without touching Rails.
Yeah,
It'll be a lot
good.
easier if. Yeah, I mean that blog post that you linked the other day. He had a rake task that did essentially the same thing. Look for it, but using the Rails asset pipeline. So figured out where the assets were located, and then I think he wrote that to a temporary file, which was read by the Karma, and then Karma used that in its configuration, something like that.
And is what you've put together at all like that?
It's similar. I wouldn't say it works perfectly because I'm not going through the asset pipeline.
Right.
Also, I'm not taking into consideration like the current Rails environment. So so it has the Karma script has no knowledge of which Rails environment is running. So it just looks through all the gems without thinking about what group it belongs to. Yeah, so that's, I guess, the main differences.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will take a look at that.
Yeah. The only difference is I've done it in pure JavaScript, whereas the blog post did it in using a mix of Rails and JavaScript, which is probably the better way to go. I wonder what you think about it.
I'll take a look.
Yep. Well, Pete, I've merged that in. Do you want to do anything else? Any other stories?
No, I can't think of anything right now. Let me mark that one as finished.
All right. Well, actually, John, I have a favor to ask of you. Do you mind giving me some feedback on the redesign of the users page? The index page and show page, I've changed the appearance. I think I've got to work on the edit page. That one's still a bit off.
I think you linked. Gotcha.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the link's in the chat.
By the way, why does it take so long to load the picture on the homepage of Agile Ventures?
It's probably because it's quite large.
Mm.
Depends on the
These
internet
clouds.
connection. There's a bit more fancier JavaScript. It's not in Agile Ventures. It's in my staging server.
Oh, I know. I'm just
Yeah,
doing them side by side. So.
Okay.
Doing a side-by-side comparison.
Yeah. So I've gotten rid of the tabs. I think the tabs are just getting in the way. Really. There's not enough content in there to make tabs worth the effort.
I think you're right. Alright, so the index has also changed, you said?
Yep.
Oh, I see the borders.
Yep.
Yep.
I got rid of the borders. I've also changed the hover animation because I like hovering. Any kind of animation.
No, that's good. Yeah.
I think it's better to be able to click an entire rectangular block instead of just a name.
Yep.
The picture, because it felt like a weird shape in the clicking area to me. Okay.
So how did you make this hover?
Oh, CSS, all through CSS, really.
What is the, can I look at it?
Yeah, let me push this up. I'll try and get you a link to the CSS. But yeah, just not that much. Just adding a background color and border color when something's hovering on it. Let's see, everything should be in the app assets. Style sheet users dot css dot scss. Let me see if I can find the right line.
What did you do to extend the clickable region?
Oh, I just wrapped everything in an anchor tag.
Okay, so you just moved it up.
Yep, I moved it up.
Gotcha.
A bunch of tests are probably failing now. I don't even know why we write tests for the views.
Yeah.
Makes redesigning a lot harder.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I don't know if I agree because I don't do enough work with views. But
I think now since we're introducing the presenter pattern, all the tests should really go to the presenter, and the view spec maybe it shouldn't check CSS or anything. I think it should just check that the basic information is present, and then like the name, and if you include skills. Sorry.
But of course, you probably already are checking that with Cucumber.
Yeah, true. I think Cucumber, I don't really know what to do with Cucumber. I think we've written too much Cucumber.
Yeah,
there's a lot more than we need to.
A lot of it is just through getting practice with test-driven development.
I've just been
a learning exercise.
Yeah, I've just been watching this talk actually this morning integration tests are a scam. And he makes quite a good point. If you write too many integration tests, you afford yourself too much flexibility, and then you can just write any bad amount of code and the test will still pass. Unit tests promote good design, so he said his argument was more unit tests, less integration tests, pretty much. I have to agree. I'm trying to cut down on Cucumber and move everything to, as much as possible, to some lower level tests.
Yeah, I agree too. I don't like Cucumber, but I do like integration tests. That's mainly the way I actually drive my development.
Yeah.
Because I need to, like I usually end up spiking things, and so if I get myself a test that tells me when I've succeeded, that's usually all I want. Then when it comes to refactoring, all my unit tests are going to break if I completely, well, that's not true. Now that I write unit tests differently and only test the behavior, but if I want to test overall, like I usually use integration/acceptance tests to test the ways I want my system to work, maybe 3 tests or something. And when I completely refactor it, I just use that as my guide. Okay, I'm red, okay, green,
Yeah. That's true. I mean, I'm not saying that integration tests are bad, it's just that we have too much Cucumber steps, and some of the Cucumber steps were actually acting more like unit tests.
Yep.
For example, the missing image in Mercury, that should really be tested in a separate JavaScript unit test.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, the only reason we put in Cucumber is because at the time we didn't really have proper Jasmine running, so we threw everything to Cucumber. Now I think a lot of the stuff that's in Cucumber can be taken out and moved to unit tests, and we'll just keep a few, like essential few of them, much fewer integration tests, and leave them in Cucumber. Yeah.
The Cucumber is written there for acceptance tests, so they're tied to a particular story. So they're not really integration tests as such. They're just establishing that certain behavior is present in the app.
Okay. Yeah. That's what Cucumber should really be doing. I think we've put too much, like we're repeating too many steps. So user clicks here, user clicks there, then you should see this, then you should not see this.
Yeah.
I think we should only be having click here and click there. We should see this. Everything else, all the other little details should really go into unit tests.
It's a more
integration tests more. Yeah, it just tests maybe one full path touching the database and everything. That's what it should do. It shouldn't really be trying to check all possible things that could happen. Just make sure that the critical path is working, pretty much.
So you've done some responsive styles for the user page?
Oh yeah, I did. Does it work?
Yep. Oh, unless you go really narrow.
Yeah, unless you go really narrow, but
that's where
these phones are that small.
Extra small.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know. Maybe my phone does go standard screen size does go that small. Yeah, I'll work on the responsive stuff a bit more.
Yeah, I mean the challenge is you basically have to have it so that it stacks into a small narrow column.
Yeah.
You
I think for some reason I decided to put it side by side. I probably shouldn't have. Maybe for the tablet size, I can have it stacked side by side like that.
And
Yeah.
the
Oh yeah, that.
the
I really have to
responsive
work on that. Yeah,
burger menu.
I don't know what happened to the burger menu. Why it just falls down like that. It's weird.
Does it do that on other pages?
I think so.
That's okay up to there. And then it falls onto another line. There must be something.
Yeah, I think there is a hidden div in there I've got to work on.
So this karma configuration file, when you're requiring stuff, where does it get that stuff from? Is this the module stuff?
Oh yeah, those are Node modules. So you can require stuff just like you do in Node. So you
So
know in
there's a node module for sprockets?
yep, Sprockets chain, there is actually a
Interesting.
Node module that does that. So
Cool.
what I should really be doing is in my package.json adding Sprockets chain and execute sync. I think FS is a Node native Node module. I didn't have to install or anything through npm.
Hmm.
So everything that comes after that is building the Sprockets dependency chain from the root file, which is application.js. Oh yeah, I'm popping the last element because there's always an empty string when I do the split.
Okay.
Yeah, that's because it has to do a new line just before the space that comes for the prompt. 16.
So was this already a boilerplate template that you filled in with some specific details?
Oh yeah, when you download Karma, you can just run Karma init, and it'll generate a configuration file for you. So most of this stuff is boilerplate, and I've just added stuff to it.
I see.
But all the code from the line 79 downwards, I've written it myself.
This is new.
Mm. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Out of curiosity, how did you do this? Like, did you have debugger breakpoints where you could inspect? Like,
Well, I
or
did
just,
that through Node.
like,
I found it
obviously
easier
you
just to
have,
work in Node.
yeah. Oh, so you just open a node prompt and then you could start doing fs exists or
Yeah.
existing blah 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 and see what pops up.
Yep. That's how I did it.
Cool. Unshift will take off the first element. Or what does unshift do?
No, I think it's the opposite. I mean, it does what push does, but in the other direction, so it pops it on the front of the array instead of the back.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, let's give this a try.
Yeah, I think the only thing that's missing from this is you need to have a package.json that
That would
will,
require those 3 files.
yep, and probably
Or
Karma
what about the
and
6 files?
the plugins. I think I might have used the plugins wrongly, so ignore whatever I've written in there. Oh, except everything that starts with Karma. That's fine. I guess at the time I thought that was equivalent to the package.json, but I guess not. So plugins should really be pointing to Karma specific stuff. So everything that starts with Karma, leave that. Everything that doesn't start with the Karma, ignore those. And those should really go to package.json.
Aha, Yugi. I've caught you with no tests.
Yes, I have not actually written tests. That's why I wanted to introduce Karma into that project.
So, does this work? Like, what you have here, what's the command? I think you actually
Yeah,
told me.
Karma actually works. It properly loads the files, and my Ember stuff have been declared. Everything's
So,
been defined. So
Karma start single run will run that one spec you have?
yeah, single run just means because Karma start usually starts the server and lets it continue forever, and it'll just
So
watch
you
for
can do it in the
changes. Single
browser?
run. I think that depends on what browser you set it to. I've set it to Phantom.js, so it doesn't actually load any browser. Single run just means run through the tests, and then just do it once without staying and watching for changes in files.
Like auto test.
Behavior, yeah. Right. I've been playing around with the responsive stuff a bit more, Pete. Why don't you have a look? So now, when you go to a certain length, well, it starts off, with this layout. When it goes to a certain length, it will split into that 2-column layout, probably for tablets. And then
Yeah.
when you go even smaller, it goes back to 1-column layout.
Everything in a single column, yeah.
Yep. Cool. Why is there weird padding here? Column. What is that? That's weird. Okay. Oops.
Is that Bree? Yeah, both the dogs actually were growling at him today. I don't know. Yep. Ryan, looking
Yep.
at the documentation for Karma, and where you specify Phantom.js, we could also, if we want, specify Chrome or Firefox or
Yep.
both. Or actually, Chrome comes default installed. Firefox would need an extra plugin.
Yes.
But basically, that will allow us to go to localhost 9876 and get our regular in-browser experience with Jasmine.
Yeah. I think what it actually does, it fires off a new window running that by default. So it's kind of annoying, kind of like how Selenium works.
Okay.
It doesn't fire it off with your current browser. I don't know, with your browser that's open. So I found that quite annoying. That's why I switched to Phantom.js. Because then every time I try to close the window, it reopens because Karma listens to that and then
I
just
see.
opens it again. Yeah. Yeah, so I haven't gotten around to figuring out how that works. But yeah, I think having it as Phantom.js isn't half bad too. Well, that's because I haven't actually written any tests, so I wouldn't know what's the difference in the formatting. Right.
Do you know how to escape the asterisk character in Slack? So that doesn't.
I have no idea.
You can put it in a code block with backticks.
Okay, so I could. Okay. Oh, weird. The backticks showed up though. Huh. Can I do my backtick right?
Yeah, I think you need more than one character of code for backticks to work.
Right.
Rails-B starts on a new IP address.
Say again?
I'm just watching.
Oh,
Brian's
it's
terminal.
it binds to a specific IP address. So I'm gonna test it out on my phone. Responsive layout. Yeah, so I can access it on my phone.
Oh, are you
Hope.
using that thing that Sampriti has to tunnel your localhost?
No.
What did Sempriti have?
Oh, never mind. So maybe that is just a thin wrapper over whatever this is. Basically, I can go to that same IP address and be looking at your localhost, right?
I don't think it's exposed yet.
Oh, okay, never mind.
So this is just locally.
It was
Okay.
called Grok or something.
Yeah, and Grok.
Grok.
In Grok, huh? No, I haven't. So I think I can only access this locally. I should be
So if I
able to
wanted to,
access it locally.
mm, so if I wanted to just grab this one file from this other repo you have, I could just add it as a remote, couldn't I?
Yeah,
And then check out that individual file.
could do. Although adding it as a remote seems like overkill for one file. Why not just download it?
Okay, so the way I would do that is just go to the raw and wget it.
Yeah.
Well, can you not edit it in GitHub?
Oh, I want to pull it into Codealia.
Oh, I see.
Can't figure out how I got it working before. 192. No, it's working. Is it just my phone that's not seeing it? Okay, probably this router is not configured to do that. That's a shame. I'll worry about this later then. Anyway, for some reason my browser isn't allowing me to go below a certain width. I don't know why. Should be able to.
If you push it up to Heroku, I can try it out again.
Okay. But I really want to test it while it's here.
Yeah.
Because there is definitely that invisible div in there. It might be why it's being pushed down.
Also, the menu appears to be off center at any width.
This one? Ah,
The space between about and the left edge is greater than events and the right edge.
okay.
When
Oh,
it's
yeah.
when it's in the full menu width.
Yep. I think I don't really have any answer to that. Because I wanted to have this nice logo pop in.
Oh, I see. Yeah, the branding.
Yep. I wonder, do you get these weird flashes when you scroll down when the nav bar just becomes a fixed? For me, I'm getting strange flashes. This never happened before. I think it's just because of a recent Chrome update, how they're rendering everything. It's like a little. Nope. If you don't get it, I'm not gonna be worried. I'm not gonna be worried about it.
It's quite smooth. The countdown clock disappears when you scroll down,
Cool.
and it goes to the
Yeah, it's,
blue.
yeah, it's probably a recent Chrome update. That's annoying. Don't know if I should really worry about fixing it. Anyway, the more important thing is this thing has to not push this down when they are squashed together. I can't remember. Now back to the nav bar. I need to look at Bootstrap again. Is there any way to make it so that this little hamburger button actually forces down the entire nav bar rather than creating a little drop down menu, which doesn't always work well?
So when you click on it to open the menu,
Yep.
you
Let me
get
show
a
you. Yeah, I think Angular actually has it working on a part of their page.
Mhm.
Yeah, so when you open it, it goes like that rather than having a floating drop-down menu.
I see. Yeah.
I prefer to do it that way.
I don't think that's the default Bootstrap behavior.
But it's not.
It's not doing that in Agile Ventures.
Nope. Drop-downs, nav bar. Let's see how it behaves here. Segmented buttons with drop-down. I've been thrown off. Nav bars. Okay, so it looks like it does do that.
So the drop-down menu is something custom that we've done.
I have no idea, to be honest. I thought that wasn't custom.
Don't know where.
Access.
Oh,
Okay, how about this just disappears? I don't know if column length 0 actually works.
You can have
No, that didn't
column,
work.
column X XS hide.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That would be
certain
great.
size.
Cool. I'm gonna try that because I really want to hide that. No, it doesn't seem. Seems like it's still there.
Let's check.
Yeah, let me check as well. Grid system. Never mind, I could just add a media query in there to hide things, but prefer to do it Bootstrap way.
Yeah. Responsive utilities.
how
Okay,
does a media
first,
query work? Is it just, yeah, how does a media query work?
I think the browser decides which CSS to choose based on certain conditions. So media queries really just state the conditions, like if the width is below this or something, use this CSS instead of
Hmm.
the one before or something.
And so when you're saying I'd use a media query to do that, you would just have inside that block something that will just completely hide the thing that you don't want it to show.
Yep.
Okay.
There's also a style, I found it, Brian. It's got hidden XS, hidden dash XS.
Oh, okay. Dot hidden dash XS. Okay,
Yeah. You can
that's
also
cool.
put dot visible MD, and it will hide it in everything but medium devices.
Awesome. So XS hidden.
Hidden XS.
Hidden. Ah, okay. XS. Cool. Let's try it. That looks better. There's nothing in there. That comes down still wrongly. Now I need to figure out why navbar was breaking. Navbar drop down. Should be working, right?
So what did you have to do to get karma to be a command that you can execute from within CSH?
Oh, okay. You need to npm install karma CLI. Although it's not mentioned in any docs, it took me a while to find out. I need to install karma CLI.
So I should just
Karma dash
make a
CLI.
package.json right now, right?
Yeah.
Oh wait, I already have one. Okay, so not karma jasmine, but what the heck? Interesting.
Okay, so that's the stuff you pulled in from the blog post, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I just left everything from the blog post here and I just copied in your file.
Okay.
Say again the name of that dependency though?
Karma dash CLI.
I'm gonna look it up on GitHub.
Oh no, this is drop down. Navbar collapse. Nav. Navbar nav justified. If I get rid of that, what happens? Okay, that happens. Right. So that didn't fix things. I wonder why it's doing it that way though. So everything just comes under navbar collapse, and that should be a child of container fluid. nav collapse. Okay, how about I have a container out here? Might work. Because I know I have it under a column. Let's see if this works at all. Or it's just gonna throw everything off. No. Nope, not quite. Next event. Let's see if I can bring it closer to whatever he had there. Nav container fluid. Actually, why do I even have this as 2 columns? Why not move this in here? Surround this in list. Oh, what is this?
Those 3 spans, the icon bar, make up the burger menu.
Ah, okay. Okay, let me try that. If it doesn't break everything. Um, well, not quite.
Different.
It throws things off a bit. And it doesn't help.
Crazy dog.
Because the main thing that annoys me is why doesn't it work?
There's a lot of responsive classes inside the navbar in website 1
Yeah,
that aren't there in the example on Bootstrap.
true. But I got rid of all the columns just now, but that didn't work.
You still have the column access 12, column MD10.
Well, this is what I tried before, which doesn't have any of those.
Oh, okay.
Let me get rid of navbar justified as well. And refresh. Go back here. Actually, this looks a bit better, but it doesn't push things down.
No, it's still going behind the content.
Yep.
It's almost as if that content has an absolute positioning somehow.
Yeah. Now what does navbar justify to? I want to get rid of that in the media query. Yeah, what kind of positioning does this have right now? Relative No, that shouldn't matter.
Hmm.
Should it? Oh no, that's because I'm... Nav justified. What does that do? Justified. Nav justify just does with 100%?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, then I'll just get rid of that and have this. I don't know. Just trying to hack things together and make it work first. This might fix one of the problems, or not. That didn't seem to work. Max, or is it because of my media query? No. With 100%. No, that's... Okay, so there's a lot more to that.
So, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to find a package just called FS. I can find something called NodeFS. Does that
Okay.
sound wrong?
I think FS should be packaged in with Node. If you just type Node in the console and see if there's a and try and require FS, it probably is in there. It should be part of Node. So you shouldn't have to put it in the package.json, I think. So navbar justified breaks this kind of. Well, no. Always a bummer. Actually, do I have the header as a fixed height? Come to think of it, maybe I do. So ID nav, no, oh yes, height. Okay, there we go. So here I actually have nav set to fixed height. So if I go height auto, let me try that. That should mean it pushes things down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. A little weird, but I can live with that.
If you have the counter as well.
And yeah, the
I
counter.
don't know why he does that.
Counter.
I think he's sleeping though.
Oops. Hold on. Let me undo a couple of things. No, undo it. Undo it. Back to this state. And let's see if that still works. Yeah, okay. Now I got to get rid of that fixed behavior when it's reached that size.
Wow.
Alright. John, did you say anything? Maybe before? Possibly not. Okay. Now what I could do is maybe move this in here. No, not part of the list. Maybe this will still work, or I'll just be wrong. Yeah, I'll just be wrong. Layouts. Okay. So maybe more media queries.
Or give it a class of hidden access again.
Yeah. Maybe I should just disable it when it gets that small. Oh. Still there. Oh, display hidden, no. Or I could... Actually, let me see. If I want... Do you think we want to keep that little timer going? Because if we do, I could just get rid of... This CSS looks terrible.
I don't know.
Get rid... Go on.
If you're viewing the site on a mobile, you're probably not intending to attend the Hangout imminently. But then again, if it's showing the time to the next Hangout is 12 hours, then having it on the mobile is just as important as having it on the desktop.
Okay, I'm gonna try this. So this will get rid of the it being too small behavior. So okay, it just pops itself on to the bottom like that.
Okay.
It sort of works. Yeah, I think it's the positioning.
It's better than before.
Yeah, it's better than before. What is the what's the default position? Like CSS positioning. Fixed, no. Static. I think it was the positioning that was causing that weird, funny thing. There you go. That looks better.
Nice, yeah.
Yep. Although you could almost argue this can be up right beside the hamburger
A single row.
button. Yeah. Oh god, that will be a lot more trickier to put it.
Where to put it now?
You know what? This works, so I'm just gonna keep it that way. The last thing I want to do maybe is text align center. So cool. Now, another thing I want to do is to hack. Oops. Hack in a Flash. Flash notice equals temp. So hack in a Flash so I can see the Flash responsive layout. Oh, actually, that's not bad.
It still works.
Yep. But it goes into the page, so let me look for Flash. No Flash here. Perhaps there is a Flash CSS. Yes, there is. Flash. Position absolute. Actually, I want to move that here. Flash will be static. Oh, it's a bit weird because here I'm doing mobile first. That's why I have media queries for min width. And up here I'm doing desktop first, so I have media queries for max width. I don't know. I should probably be consistent. Yeah. Max width 100%. Here width will be okay. Cool. Another thing I want to do is get rid of positioning. So I will so it will take up some space as well. No? That didn't seem to have worked. Because Flash container, no. Relative height 0. Okay. Perhaps that's why. So going back here, yep, there it is. Oh, that's an interesting way to fade in, fade out.
Because it's part of the
Well,
menu bar.
yeah, that's true. Now, should I keep this a fixed thing? I don't know. I could probably push this up so you guys can have a look, test it out, test out the responsiveness.
Cool.
It, responsive. This could take a while.
Alright, well, I'm going to go and get something to eat.
Okay.
But I'll leave this hangout running so that You don't have to start a new one.
Oh, actually, it's probably better to end it anyway. I am gonna be leaving soon as well,
Oh, okay.
so I don't want to leave this hangout just hanging around. John,
Yeah,
will you be free to pair up later to work through this karma thing?
Sure, yeah, I will be.
Cool.
one other thing worth mentioning, the responsive layout for the user's index page has always been a bit broken. Because when it goes into 2 columns, it still has
Okay.
3.
Still has a tree. Yep.
3 columns.
Okay. I will work on that then. Because that's. Uh-oh, what happened here? I need to do a force push. Okay. Yeah. Right. So it looks like there's a lot more for me to work on. I thought all that was left is. All that was left was fixing the edit page. It
Well,
looks like,
I think the members index page is just the way we're using Bootstrap in the repeated region.
yeah, I think so too. I don't know why Thomas did it a different way. He wrote his own responsive stuff. It was, I guess it was good practice. Okay, and the
Right,
edit page. Yeah, okay, cool. I just end the hangout here.